Hey friends, so I'm back from my holiday in the Gold Coast, and are you guys noticing I'm looking a little bit more tan than usual? I'm just joking, the weather was actually terrible. So just for context, the week before I went to the Gold Coast, the weather was terrible in Sydney. We had one of our biggest storms that we've had in years, and people's houses actually got destroyed and there was a lot of flooding. So yeah, the weather really wasn't great in Sydney. But sadly, I brought the bad weather to the Gold Coast as well. And as soon as we landed in the Gold Coast, it was pissing down with rain, and the whole holiday it was pretty much just raining non-stop. So in this video, I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of my holiday in the Gold Coast for a week and how much we spent. And I'll actually give you a full breakdown of how much I spent in the Gold Coast on my holiday at the end of the video. So make sure you keep watching. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you like seeing videos about investing and personal finance. So the first step was actually getting the flight. So the flight was a bit tricky because we were going during the Easter long weekend, and everybody loves traveling during public holidays because you get a few free days of annual leave. And that's the reason why we like to use our annual leave during the long weekends as well. Luckily, we were able to get some points flights, so the flight wasn't that expensive. So we do use credit cards to make pretty much all of our purchases, and we do rack up quite a lot of Qantas points, which we can redeem for free travel. The flights aren't completely free though. You do still need to pay for the airline taxes, but it's a very small price to pay for the quality of service and just being able to get a much cheaper flight and way better service. And if you would like to see a video about how I use credit cards to get points which I can redeem for cheaper travel, you can watch my video up here. So the points flights only ended up costing us $171 for 2 people to Brisbane and back. And we saved at least $300 on our flights because we were flying during the Easter period, which is usually a lot more expensive. So thankfully, when we did book with points, we only had to pay for the airline taxes. Funny story about this. 2 days before we were actually supposed to fly out, it was announced that Brisbane would go into lockdown. And as you know, our flights were to Brisbane and back, but we were actually going to the Gold Coast. So I was really worried that our flights would be cancelled and we would not be able to go on holiday. Thankfully, our flights didn't get cancelled. We called up the car rental company and they were still open. So we pretty much hopped straight from the airport with our masks into the car rental company and into our rental car and drove to the Gold Coast. The car hire was the most expensive purchase on this trip, and that cost us $348. But we did save quite a bit of money by comparing the prices. We saved at least $200 just by shopping around at different car rental places. So we stayed with my auntie who actually lives on her boat. So accommodation was completely free. Money win. And if you would like to see a tour of her boat, you can watch this video up here. It's actually quite a big boat. When she first told me she was going to live on a boat, I was a little bit concerned. I wasn't sure what it would be like to live on a boat, but after staying with her a couple of times, it's actually really spacious. So they have 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, which is pretty decent. And there is plenty of room on the boat. They also got a new puppy called Ruby, and they got her about 4 months ago, and she is just the most beautiful dog with the nicest personality. She lives with them on the boat as well, so it was nice to get to hang out with a dog. So next up, food. So we usually did breakfast and dinner at home on the boat with my auntie and my uncle. But for lunch, I usually tried to go out somewhere and just go somewhere and explore the Gold Coast, even though it was raining so much. So we did try to save a bit of money by cooking our food at home for breakfast and also for dinner as well. And for activities, we tried to do a lot of free activities initially, like going to the beach, but the weather was really bad. So we had maybe 2 days of sort of good weather where it was cloudy and not raining for half of the day. So we did go to the beach as much as we could, but sadly for the rest of the holiday it was completely just raining. So we ended up doing a lot of escape rooms and doing activities like eating out and Topgolf. We also ended up seeing some friends like Jason Pizzino. He has a really awesome crypto channel, so definitely check him out. And I also met Family Finance and Tracy Edwards, and they also have really awesome personal finance YouTube channels. So it was really nice to hang out with them and grab a bite to eat. I think one of the best activities that we did do was Topgolf, even though I'm actually terrible at it. I don't know what happened, but the first time I played Topgolf, I was actually pretty good. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I just kept on getting it in the hole. And then the next time that I did it, aka this time, I was absolutely terrible. I think maybe it was beginner's luck the first time, but yeah, it wasn't fun. And the escape room was so much fun. I love escape rooms. My boyfriend and I were a little bit nerdy, and we do like to, I guess, watch lots of thrillers and movies that really confuse us. So escape rooms are definitely right up our alley. So we did 2 escape rooms in the Gold Coast. One we did, which was kind of like medium difficulty, and we ended up solving that one and getting out. That escape room was terrifying. There was this lady in a clown mask that came into the room when we weren't looking, and the room, by the way, was like pitch black. I heard the door slam, I turned around, and there was this scary lady with a clown mask on, and it freaked me out. The other escape room that we did was also with my auntie as well. We didn't solve that one, but it was the most difficult option. So yeah, it was the only escape room where we didn't actually escape, but we were on the last clue. So that gives me a little bit of hope that, you know, next time we'll solve it. And we actually ended up going to Byron as well during our trip. I loved Byron, and we went to this place called The Farm. This place is amazing. So it is legit a farm, and they also have a little restaurant and cafes and things like that attached to the farm. And on the farm, they teach kids about sustainability, and you know, they have pigs, they have chickens, and they also have a bunch of macadamia trees. I didn't know this, but fun fact, did you know that macadamias are actually Australian? They used to be called Queensland nuts, and then they changed the name to macadamias. And I also learned how to open a macadamia nut. And they taste so much better when they are freshly opened, I've got to say. It kind of tasted a little bit like coconut, so highly recommend going to the farm if you are in Byron. Byron is just such a beautiful town, and even though the weather was terrible, it was really nice to get out of the Gold Coast for a little while. And let's get into how much I actually spent, which is the juicy part. So I went through all of my credit card expenses, and I think I actually did pretty well. I'm not gonna lie, I did not budget for this trip. I was just like, whatever, you know, it's raining, let's just do some fun things to pass the time. So we actually ended up spending $1,243 for 2 people for the whole trip, and that's including flights and the car hire and all of the food and activities, pretty much everything. So per person, it was $621. Per person per day, it is only $81.81, which I think is pretty decent. I mean, of course, I probably could have saved more money, but I did have a lot of fun. And since I was staying with my auntie, I did want to pull my weight as well and make sure that I was shouting her lots of lunches and getting lots of groceries. So yeah, at least I could kind of like pay my way there. So this is a bit of a breakdown on what I spent the most money on. So the biggest expense was the car hire. Second biggest expense was eating out, of course. We only really did lunches out, but there were a lot of lunches. And the next biggest expense was the points flights, and then after that it was groceries and escape rooms, because you know us, we love our escape rooms. So that is a bit of an overview of my holiday in the Gold Coast and how much money I spent. I would love to know your thoughts on these videos, and if you enjoyed it, down in the comments below. And I would love to know where your next holiday is down in the comments below. Do you guys like traveling? And where are you planning to go in the future? I know obviously with everything that's happening with the world, it can make it really difficult to travel, but I hope that we can make a bit of time for ourselves to just switch off, take a bit of a break and relax, even if it is just within our own country. And then eventually when international travel opens back up, we can do lots more exploring and maybe spend a little bit too much money, but enjoy ourselves. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! And if you'd like to see some more videos, I've got some links to some videos here, so click on the links and click through to another video.